Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be tackling some pretty big topics.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got some pretty heavy-hitting sources for you.
Definitely.
We're looking at insights from both Robert Kiyosaki
Mm-hmm.
and Richard Duncan.
They're pretty different guys, I'd say.
They are. But both have a lot to say about the current economic climate.
Oh, yeah. They both definitely have some thoughts on where things are headed.
So just real quick for anyone who maybe needs a refresher.
Sure.
Kiyosaki, he's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a classic.
And he's known for his, well, let's just say bold investment strategies.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take risks.
Not at all. Then we have Duncan,
Yeah.
who's a renowned economist. He actually wrote the book on the dollar crisis.
Well, he really wrote the book, yeah.
So needless to say,
Mhm.
they both have some pretty strong opinions
Mm-hmm.
on the potential pitfalls
Yeah.
that we might be facing
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even some surprising opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Always opportunities out there.
So what we're going to do today,
Okay.
we're going to unpack those warnings.
Okay.
We're going to break down their investment strategies.
Right.
And ultimately,
Yeah,
we want to help you
of course.
make smarter financial decisions in a world that honestly seems to be changing faster and faster.
Absolutely. It's a wild world out there right now.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Kiyosaki and Duncan both seem to agree on
Okay.
is that the biggest threat that we're facing right now is this looming debt crisis.
Yeah, the debt. That's a big one.
Kiyosaki, he doesn't mince words when he talks about the amount of debt
Oop.
in the U.S.
Yeah, he gets right to the point.
He's saying 90 trillion,
$90 trillion in debt.
up from just 1 trillion in 1964.
Wow.
So,
That's incredible growth.
yeah, it's
Yeah, and not in a good way.
not the kind of growth we want to see.
Right.
And Duncan, he takes kind of a broader view, I think.
Yeah.
He's arguing that the U.S. economy, as it stands now,
Yeah.
is fueled by
What he calls creditism,
creditism, yeah.
which it's a very interesting concept.
Right.
Essentially what he's saying
Mhm.
is that we're completely reliant on constantly creating and
Right.
consuming credit.
So basically, just more and more debt all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting, if a little unsettling concept.
It's definitely something to think about.
Because what Duncan's basically saying
Okay.
is that
Yeah.
this dependence on credit, it makes us incredibly fragile,
Makes sense.
especially
Mm-hmm.
as interest rates rise.
Yeah, and we've all seen how those have been climbing.
Which leads us to another big topic
Okay.
that both Kiyosaki and Duncan touch on,
Uh-huh.
which is inflation.
Yeah, can't talk about the economy without talking about inflation these days.
No, not really. And what's so interesting is they each have a very different perspective.
Okay, how so?
Well, Kiyosaki,
Okay.
he actually argues that inflation
While it can definitely be harmful to, most people, actually benefits
really
the wealthy.
interesting.
And he goes even further to suggest
Right.
that some of the, current administration's policies,
Oh, so he's getting political.
he's definitely wading into those waters.
Okay.
But he seems to think that they're intentionally fueling inflation.
Wow.
It's a pretty controversial stance.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Definitely.
So what about Duncan? What does he say about inflation?
Duncan focuses more on the Federal Reserve
Okay.
and their efforts to combat inflation through quantitative tightening.
Right, so basically trying to shrink the money supply.
Exactly.
Okay.
But, and here's the thing,
What's that?
he warns that this could trigger a stock market crash
Oh, wow.
and send asset prices tumbling.
Okay, so two very different views then.
Almost like two sides of the same coin.
Right.
Kiyosaki sees opportunity in inflation,
Uh-huh.
while Duncan is highlighting the potential consequences
Yeah.
of trying to control it.
So what does this all mean for, the average person?
Well, that's the big question.
Right.
And I think a good place to start, honestly, is just thinking about your own debt
Makes sense.
and how those rising interest rates we talked about,
Yeah.
how those might impact you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's one thing to talk about these big macroeconomic forces,
Right.
but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's about how it affects you,
It all comes down to your personal finances.
right? Your own wallet.
Exactly.
And Kiyosaki, he really stresses the importance
Yeah.
of hedging against inflation.
Hedging, so like protecting yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I guess the question for you, listening right now,
Mm-hmm.
is how are you doing that?
Right.
What assets do you have?
Yeah.
What are your goals?
Uh-huh.
And how are you protecting yourself
Mm-hmm.
from inflation eroding your purchasing power.
Because it is a real threat out there.
Yeah. And one thing that Kiyosaki talks a lot about is
Yeah.
real estate.
Real estate, okay.
But even he advises a lot of caution in the current market.
Interesting. So even he's a little hesitant right now.
Oh, yeah. He actually warns people
Really?
against buying
Wow.
right now.
So not the time to jump into the market then?
Especially, he says, if you're chasing the peak.
Oh, okay. So like if you're trying to buy at the very top?
Exactly.
Okay.
He compares it to buying at the top of a roller coaster ride.
Ooh, not a good place to be.
Nope. And instead,
What's he recommend?
he's saying wait for the market to dip
Okay.
and then buy at the bottom.
So when prices are more favorable?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
When everybody else is scared, that's when he wants you to buy.
Makes sense.
So he's not just blindly saying buy real estate.
Right.
He's saying be smart about it.
Yeah, timing is everything.
Understand the market cycle.
Understand the market.
And buy when it makes sense.
Okay.
And on that note, he actually predicts that some sectors of the real estate market are headed for trouble.
Oh, like what?
Office buildings, for example.
Oh, office building.
He thinks they're facing a ton of challenges.
Why is that?
Well, the rise of remote work.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people working from home these days.
Yeah.
So less demand for office space.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Duncan, he actually points out that there's a real potential for defaults in that commercial real estate sector.
Defaults. So like people not being able to pay their loans.
Yeah, as that debt comes due.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
scary thought.
Definitely a little concerning.
It makes you wonder
What's that?
if those office buildings really will become
What?
homes for homeless people.
Homes for homeless people. Wow.
I mean, it's a pretty provocative statement.
Yeah. Where did he say that?
That's Kiyosaki.
Kiyosaki. Okay.
But,
Yeah.
it does make you think
It does.
about just how vulnerable some types of real estate might be.
In this economic climate.
Right. And I think that's something for anyone out there who's considering, buying or selling property.
Right.
It's worth taking a pause,
Definitely.
really assessing the market.
Yeah. Do your research.
And, especially given these expert opinions,
For sure.
it's
Yeah.
might be a good idea to proceed with caution.
Proceed with caution. I like that.
Now, moving on,
Okay.
Kiyosaki has some very specific ideas
Okay.
about what he considers alternative investment.
Alternative investments.
And in particular,
Yeah.
he's talking about using debt strategically
Using debt strategically.
to acquire
Oh,
income-generating assets.
Okay, so he's not anti-debt.
Not at all.
Interesting.
He just thinks you need to be smart about it.
Gotcha.
So can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
What exactly does he mean?
Well, basically, he's a big proponent of leveraging debt to buy assets that generate cash flow.
Okay.
Things like rental properties.
Right, rental property.
And then he advocates using that cash flow to acquire assets like gold.
Gold, okay.
Which he sees as, a hedge against inflation.
A hedge against inflation. Okay.
So it's a strategy that definitely requires careful planning and execution.
For sure.
But it really highlights this belief that he has in, making your money work for you.
Yeah, putting your money to work.
Not just letting it sit there.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating about this is that he even goes so far as to criticize
Criticize what?
traditional retirement plans.
Retirement plans like what?
Like 401ks.
401ks. Oh, well.
He actually compares them to, and I quote, a condom that gives you a false sense of security while you're being screwed.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
He's not holding back.
He doesn't hold back.
So why does he feel so strongly about that?
Well, he seems particularly skeptical
Okay.
of their reliance
On what?
on the stock market,
Okay.
which, as we all know,
Yeah.
can be very volatile.
It can be up and down. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also the lack of individual control
Control. Okay.
that those plans offer.
So he's all about taking control of your own finances.
Exactly.
It's interesting.
I want you to take control of your financial destiny
Okay.
and not just rely on these traditional systems.
So this raises some big questions.
Yeah, it does.
For anyone listening, I mean, how do you feel about gold as an investment?
Right.
Especially given Kiyosaki's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts on those traditional retirement plans?
Yeah. Are they working for you?
Or are you, maybe exploring some alternatives?
Because clearly Kiyosaki is.
He is, yeah. It's interesting
What's that?
how Kiyosaki's view on gold
Mm-hmm.
kind of connects back to Duncan's whole concept of creditism.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, if the entire system is built on this constantly expanding debt, then assets that are outside of that system, like gold, start to look a lot more attractive.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because their value isn't as directly tied to, the whims of central banks or the stock market.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like a safety net almost.
I see what you mean.
And beyond those specific investment strategies, what really struck me was the emphasis that both Kiyosaki and Duncan place on financial education.
Oh, yeah. They both talk about that a lot.
They do, and they both seem to agree
On what?
that understanding how money really works is key to navigating any economic storm.
Makes sense.
And they both have some interesting takes on how to achieve that.
Okay, yeah, like what?
Well, Kiyosaki actually suggests that jumping in as an idiot investor...
An idiot investor, wow.
...can be a valuable learning experience.
I mean, I guess so.
He's saying mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes.
But they offer really valuable lessons.
You learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
So it's about taking action.
Yeah.
Even if you're not totally confident.
It's about learning by doing.
Learning by doing, yeah.
Even if it means stumbling along the way.
You know, it's like they say, the best way to learn to swim is to jump in the water.
Right. You might sputter a bit at first.
You might.
But you'll figure it out.
Yeah. You sink or you swim.
And both Kiyosaki and Duncan actually have stories.
Oh, really?
About early career missteps. That ultimately help them refine their strategies.
Interesting.
And achieve financial success.
So this deep dive isn't about, blindly following their advice.
Right.
It's about analyzing their insights through the lens of your own financial situation.
Okay.
And making choices that align with your own goals.
So taking what they say and applying it to your own life.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Because what works for them might not work for you.
Everyone's different.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
And speaking of different perspectives, Kiyosaki tells this story
about
meeting Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey,
who, advocates for living debt-free.
Debt-free, okay.
And Kiyosaki, he admits that Ramsey's advice is sound.
Okay.
For those who don't fully understand how to manage debt.
So for people who aren't comfortable with debt.
Right.
Okay.
But he argues that understanding how to leverage debt strategically.
Leverage it strategically.
Is crucial for building wealth.
Okay. Interesting.
He even quotes his rich dad.
Rich dad. Okay.
Who said, only lazy people use their own money.
Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty bold statement.
It is.
What does he mean by that?
Well, essentially what he's saying is that wealthy people understand how to use other people's money.
Other people's money, meaning debt?
Meaning debt, yeah.
Okay.
To acquire assets and grow their wealth.
So using debt as a tool?
Exactly. And he highlights...
What's that?
That even the U.S. dollar itself is essentially a form of debt.
The dollar is debt?
Yeah. Created when people borrow money.
I never thought of it that way.
So in his view, living completely debt-free means not fully participating in the system.
That's a really interesting perspective.
It is. It really challenges the conventional wisdom of avoiding debt at all costs.
Right. Like debt is always bad.
Exactly.
But Kiyosaki's saying not necessarily.
Right. If you know how to use it.
If you know how to use it.
Now, another thing that Kiyosaki emphasizes is that the saying.
What saying?
Real estate always goes up.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that one.
Isn't necessarily true.
Okay, so it doesn't always go up.
Right. He's seen the market cycle many times. And he stresses that prices go up and down.
And down, so it's a cycle.
To kick a cycle.
And the key is knowing
what?
When to buy and when to sell.
Exactly. He uses that roller coaster analogy again.
Yeah, roller coaster.
And I don't want to buy at the top.
At the top, no.
When prices are inflated, you want to buy at the bottom.
At the bottom.
When everybody else is fearful.
When everyone's selling.
And you can find those bargains.
Find the deals, okay.
It's like Warren Buffett's famous saying.
What's that?
Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful.
Oh, I've heard that one.
But that takes a lot of discipline.
It does.
And a very contrarian mindset.
Yeah, you got to be willing to go against the herd.
Exactly.
By when everyone else is panicking.
Which is not easy to do.
Not easy at all.
Kiyosaki talks about how he used to cringe.
Oh, really?
When people would tell him
that
they just jumped into real estate.
Oh, no.
Without really understanding the market.
Without doing their research.
He compares it to jumping off a moving train.
Oh, wow.
You might survive.
You might.
But it's not exactly a calculated risk.
No, not at all.
And he stresses the importance
of what?
Of not letting emotions drive your investment decisions.
Emotions, yeah.
It's easy to get swept up in the hype.
It is. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
But that's often when people make the biggest mistakes.
Makes sense.
He uses this analogy of fish floating to the surface.
Fish floating to the surface.
When things start to go bad,
okay,
you can see the problems more clearly when the tide goes out.
Oh, like Warren Buffett says.
Exactly.
Interesting analogy.
And that's when the real opportunities emerge.
When the tide goes out.
The key is to be prepared.
Yeah.
To have your financial house in order.
Right.
So you can take advantage of those opportunities.
When they arise.
So to kind of wrap up this deep dive into Kiyosaki and Duncan's perspectives.
Okay.
What are some of the key takeaways for our listener?
Well, first and foremost, be aware of the risks associated with rising debt levels.
Right, the debt crisis.
And the potential for inflation to erode your purchasing power.
That's a big one.
These are forces at play that we just can't ignore.
You can't ignore them, yeah.
Second, consider Kiyosaki's advice about hedging against inflation.
Okay.
Explore assets like real estate.
Real estate.
Gold. Or other options that align with, your risk tolerance and your financial goals.
Right. Do what's right for you.
Exactly.
And third, and maybe most importantly, don't be afraid to challenge conventional financial wisdom.
Oh, yeah. Question everything.
Do your own research.
Yes.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
And make decisions that are right for you.
Not just what everyone else is doing.
Not following the herd.
Exactly.
Because in this world of creditism.
Yeah.
That Duncan talks about. Your financial well-being really depends on your ability to stay afloat.
Stay afloat like you're captaining your own ship.
You got to captain your own ship.
Chart your own course.
In these interesting times.
Definitely interesting times. Yeah. It's like he's building a bridge from the system, that world of creditism, to something more tangible.
Right. Something real.
Less subject to those fluctuations.
And Kiyosaki, he mentions how people will sometimes come up to him, like at the grocery store or something, and say, hey, I took your advice and bought a rental property.
Okay.
And his internal reaction is always, oh, no, not now.
Oh, no, why not?
At the top of the market.
Oh, so the timing was off.
Exactly.
Oof, yeah, that's rough.
He's like, it's so easy to get caught up in the excitement when the market is hot.
Totally.
But that's often when people make the biggest mistakes.
Makes sense.
He stresses that the best time to buy is when the market is down.
Okay.
When everybody else is selling.
Yeah.
And you can find those deals.
When you can get a bargain.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it goes back to that Warren Buffett quote, be fearful when others are greedy.
Right, and greedy when others are fearful.
But that takes discipline.
It does.
You have to go against the herd.
You got to be willing to buy when everyone else is panicking.
Not easy.
Not easy at all.
And Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
He talks about how he used to just cringe.
Oh, really?
When people would tell him they jumped into real estate.
Oh, no.
Without understanding the market.
Without doing their research.
He compares it to jumping off a moving train.
Oh, wow.
You might survive.
You might?
But it's not a calculated risk.
No, not at all.
And he stresses the importance of not letting emotions drive your investment decisions.
No, your emotions can really get in the way.
Because it's so easy to get swept up in the hype.
It is. It's exciting.
And that's usually when people make the biggest mistakes.
Makes sense.
He uses this analogy.
What's that?
Of fish floating to the surface.
Fish floating to the surface.
When things start to go bad.
Okay.
He's saying you can see the problems more clearly when the tide goes out.
Oh, yeah, like Warren Buffett says.
Exactly.
So the problems become more obvious.
And that's when the real opportunities emerge.
When the tide goes out.
But the key is
it's that.
You have to be prepared.
Prepared, okay.
You have to have your financial house in order.
Right.
So you can take advantage of those opportunities when they arise.
When they come up. Okay.
So I think to kind of wrap up this deep dive into Kiyosaki and Duncan's perspective, it really comes down to a few key things.
What are those?
First, be aware of those risks that we've been talking about.
Like the rising debt levels and inflation.
Exactly.
Those are big ones.
And then second, think about Kiyosaki's advice. About hedging against inflation.
Hedging, okay.
Consider those assets like real estate, gold.
Right. Those tangible assets.
Explore those options that align with your goals.
Do your research.
And your risk tolerance.
Right. Figure out what works for you.
And then finally, don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
Question everything.
Do your research. Educate yourself.
Yeah.
Make decisions that are right for you.
Not just what everyone else is doing.
You're captaining your own ship.
You are. You're in control.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We appreciate you listening.
Hopefully it's giving you some things to think about.
Definitely some food for thought.
As you navigate these
interesting times.
We'll
see you next time.